We all love true crime, but what does it take to actually solve a case? Our next guest is a former detective who works on TV and podcasts with hopes of getting cases solved. Welcome to DBL, Derrick Levasseur.
Yes. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Derrick, so good to see you, my friend. I'm glad they waited for this interview because last week I wasn't here. Derrick was supposed to be on just to catch the audience up a little bit. But Derrick, let's jump in. You went from being a police detective in Rhode Island, and it just says Big Brother, but you were one of the best players ever to play Big Brother. So how is it that you went from a detective to wanting to be on Big Brother?
I think it's like a lot of people. I mean, you want to play the game. I didn't necessarily want to be on reality TV. I was undercover for 6 years, and I was sitting at home, not able to leave my house, and I was watching the show saying, you know what, I think if I went on the show, I'd do pretty good. So I was 30 years old. I was out of undercover work. Season 15 had just finished, and the casting call came up on the screen, and I said, I'm not going to an audition, but I'll send in a tape, and we'll see what happens. So you know how it goes. Jeff sent in my 2-minute tape to Robin Cash. Shout out to Robin. And the rest is history. It turned out pretty well. And honestly, it's so weird because I wouldn't be here with you guys right now if it wasn't for Big Brother. It changed the course of my life for sure.
Wow. Hey, buddy, you and me both. And I've said that plenty of times on the show. Right? Real quickly, Derrick, what did you say that your profession was? Because I interviewed you before you actually went on the show. And like I said, you were one of the best ever. What did you say your profession was in that house for 3 months?
I said I was a Parks and Recreation coordinator because I actually worked in Parks and Recs when I was a kid. And when you're undercover, you always want to pull from experiences you've actually had in case you get questioned about it. And I did in the house, so it was good that I picked that career.
Wow.
I'm telling you, one of the best that ever played.
Oh my gosh, what you guys don't know is I'm also undercover, and I had, just kidding.
I love that.
I'm not. Derrick, you ended up retiring from the police force and started investigating tons of unsolved cases. And I wanted to ask specifically, what do these crimes have in common that make them just so difficult to solve?
Well, it's a few things. We could talk about it all day. It's time, especially with older cases. You have witnesses that, don't remember as much or they pass away. But also the bigger thing is evidence is seized at the time when these cases occur, especially the older ones, but they don't have the resources to properly analyze it, which is why I'm so excited about the times we're in now with the science and technology evolving. When the preservation of evidence is done properly in those older cases, what we're finding now, and I'm sure you guys have covered some of them, we're getting solves for much older cases because with that evolution in technology, we're able to go back, review that evidence and use it with the new technology we have, and we're actually able to bring these victims some justice and also find these suspects and get them off the streets.
It's like genetic genealogy, all that's amazing.
And what closure for the family.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What a gift.
It's a big deal. And shout out to Providence. I lived there for years. Good town, good city. Yeah,
I'm in Providence right now. I'm in Providence right now at the studio, for sure.
Brother, I love it, man. I went to Brown and did research at Rhode Island Hospital, so I spent some of the best years of my life up there. So I want to let's talk about you. First of all, I should have gotten undercover work because you can just lie and you're like, it's for work purposes.
Like Tori?
I would love that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what Tori does every day. Maybe you are undercover.
She does
I'm so sick of this.
All right. Well, I have to ask you, brother, what do you feel like makes your perspective into crime so valuable?
Well, I think with investigators in general, I mean, I've been doing this for 19 years. I think the number one thing with any job is experience. And I've worked a lot of cases from going from a patrolman to a detective to a sergeant and then working in TV. I've had the privilege of working with some of the top investigators in the world, not only detectives, but also forensic pathologists, forensic anthropologists, forensic psychologists. So as I go forward working with other cases, I'm not only looking through it from the lens of a detective, but also the lens of these different types of experts. And I've learned over the years that having that 360 perspective has made me a much better analyzer when it comes to seeing evidence in a way that may benefit the case long term. And that's something that, again, you don't walk into it just being a good detective. It starts with your patrol career all the way up to sergeant, and then the different fields that you work as a detective that allows you to see different cases. Although every case is different, there are similarities. So you see those similarities, you figure out how you or the other investigators you worked with use that information to solve that case, and you apply it to your own case.
Ooh, an ongoing puzzle. Unbelievable. Okay, so something that I think our viewers are going to think is really cool is your coffee company. It gives money to cold case investigations. And one of those cases finally got closed. Thank goodness. Congratulations. What was discovered?
Yeah, so with that case, our company's Criminal Coffee Company. It's a true crime themed coffee company, and we basically want to fund DNA testing for these cold cases because there's so many of them out there. So we funded our first case. It was called Preble Penny before we got involved because they were looking for a woman who disappeared 60 years ago, and then her body was found a long time ago, but they couldn't identify her. So a forensic anthropologist came in at the time, said it was a woman who was possibly pregnant. They looked for women who went missing during that time, couldn't find anybody. So Criminal Coffee comes in, we fund the DNA testing with the new technology available now. Come to find out, Preble Penny is actually Preble Peter. It's a man.
It's a man.
His name is Albert Frost. We were able to identify him with a team of people. It wasn't just us. We located family members through familial DNA. We let them know what happened, and now Albert has his name back. His family knows who he is, and now they can properly bury him. So I'm really excited about the future. We're just getting started. And actually, can I give a quick plug?
Please.
Please.
For you guys today, all the viewers right now, if you go to criminalcoffeeco.com and use the code DBL, you'll get 10% off your order, and you can fund the next case.
Incredible.
Wow, buddy.
Good job.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for stopping by. DBL Nation, you can listen to Derrick on Crime Weekly and Detective Perspective with new episodes weekly. You can also check out Criminal Coffee and contribute toward another case breakthrough. Use that code, DBL. Thanks again. We'll be right back.
That's really
Thank you,
cool.
Derrick.
Crushed it, buddy. Good job.
Take care.
Unbelievable.